Welcome to Virtually Live, the podcast where we get insights from marketing leaders and event professionals. I'm Ashley, Content Marketing Manager at Kaltura. One of the biggest concerns marketers face daily is how to constantly achieve their goals while staying within their budget. That's where AI comes in, helping everyone be more productive by using the same resources. In today's episode, we'll discuss the best ways to use AI to do just that. Let's start with Kieran Flanagan, Chief Marketing Officer at Zapier. Enjoy!
I think AI is going to be great for marketers with good ideas because we're able to automate a lot of the work to get that idea to fully fledged execution, like bringing it into the world. And that to me is a great thing because you know what I hate having to do? I hate having to have this great idea and then take 20 different courses to learn all of the tools and software to bring that idea to the world. I think that a lot of marketers believe that AI is great to scale one-to-many marketing. We believe it is great to scale one-to-one marketing, right? We've seen this in some of the best companies, right? We see it in Amazon's recommendation engine. We see it in Netflix content recommendation engine. We see it in their playlists that Spotify creates. Like, we've seen this in action, but the thing is that usually was for large companies who had a lot of engineers, but that power is going to be put in the hands of marketers. So if I'm a marketer and I'm thinking through this, it's like, oh, I still can do my one-to-many marketing through brand and things like that, but I'm getting a whole new category of tools that can help me do better one-to-one marketing, right? And that means I can do that one-to-one marketing across the entirety of the customer journey, right? And I think that is going to be hugely impactful for marketers who are ready to take on that responsibility. I think the thing you really want to lean into is, well, first of all, make sure you're using these tools. You can spend, the first one we covered is how do I get more time to ideate? And how do I spend less time in execution? Like, dig into where AI can help you now, because it can. The second one is, we talked about the fact that most marketers think of AI as a boom for content. We think it's a boom for informational content, but it saturates that and actually elevates the need for personality-led content. You can start doing that from day one. The reason I've always loved marketing is because there's no barriers to entry. You can start to learn how to do podcasts and YouTube, all of these channels that are relevant to your customers right now. If you can't do it, you're in a company and you're like, wow, like we need to get good today. Go figure out if you can acquire a creator. I covered that in one of my shows recently. That will actually jumpstart your abilities here. And the third one is, wow, if you're a marketer and you are not starting to dig into AI to create these one-to-one experiences, you're already behind. We already, within Zapier, use them in our onboarding. We use them to expand customer usage of our products. We're already deeply integrating AI throughout that customer journey to create these one-to-one experiences. You need to get on that right now. I think starting with email is, like, I know that is the typical place.
Email or chat?
Email and chat are the two most easiest place to get started. Now we're building some customized experiences, like through things you can do within your onboarding, things you can do within the Zapier dashboard. Like, they're customized to our product. But the easiest place that everyone can start with is, can I send a 10x email than I can today? Yes, you can. Can I have a chat experience where the AI can take on a lot of the work? Yes, you can. Like, just there are two simplistic places. If you haven't even tried there yet, you should. There's some like really easy tools to make that a simplistic place to go get started. Even if you're a small company, there's like tools that you can use. Like, we have a tool called Interfaces that allows you to create a chat block for your website. You can just parse in an RSS feed, train it on some knowledge, and actually have it answer questions. You could be a company of 3 people and have that on your website tomorrow.
Those were some really interesting comments made by Kieran. Now, here's Meghan Keaney Anderson, VP of Marketing at Jasper, with her thoughts.
So we decided in November that we wanted to have like a big 1,000-person event in February. And literally the only way that I could pull it off was by heavily using AI and our tools. So we used AI to sort of help ideate what the different panels were going to be, kind of put in our topics, and had AI think about different angles that we could approach that from, what people are going to want to learn about. Just a little bit of like sparring at the ideation phase. We use AI to coordinate and align our team around a single message. So again, we'll start with that creative brief. We'll upload that into Jasper. We'll have Jasper spit out the first draft of all of those assets, right? And then we'll tag in the different members of the team to finesse those and finish them up and make sure that they meet our quality bar, right? But in doing that, because they're all rooted in that core idea, the message stays and the team is automatically more aligned. I also think AI tools are going to go through, certainly at least Jasper is going to go through an evolution where for stage one, we were really focused on speed. How do we give marketing teams greater efficiency? I think speed is great, and we're going to continue to do that. But speed doesn't matter all that much if your results aren't better. And so you'll see AI tools and co-pilots like ours get better at helping you optimize content in ways that reflect its performance, helping you sort of analyze the performance and then create better content. So it'll be about speed and performance, not just faster outputs, right? Yeah, so I think most marketing teams right now, they're in the experimentation phase, right? Like maybe they've tried using a couple of tools, maybe they've played around with ChatGPT in their personal life, and maybe even they bought a co-pilot like Jasper to use across their team. And that's like the first step. But we're finding that a lot of companies actually kind of stall out in this step because they don't really think about the strategic shift that needs to accompany the technological shift. And so my recommendation for teams that are, trying to embrace AI technologies is get those, standards for responsible use down and on paper and make sure you increase the AI literacy across your team. I think that's like step one. B, identify the very practical places where you think AI will advance your work and not just be something that you play around with, and focus on those. Get value out of those first, and then expand into, okay, now we're going to try it over here, or now we're going to, rethink the way that we operate.
Now, let's hear from Jaime Hunt, VP of University Communications and CMO at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, on how we can overcome the initial fear of using AI.
That is a tremendous fear. Every time I present around generative AI, people bring that up. I don't want my job to be replaced. And I think it's not a matter of our jobs being replaced as it is being augmented and enhanced by this tool. So what I usually tell people, and I've run into a lot of folks that are like, I don't want to touch it because it's going to make me obsolete. You can use generative AI as a thought partner. You can use it. You can put your copy into it. Maybe you've drafted some copy and you can say, can you evaluate this to see if it would appeal to this type of persona? That's something that you just had to kind of know in your gut before. And our guts are notoriously not accurate predictors of behavior. So I think having that opportunity to really have a 24/7 thought partner is one way that I pitch it to people scared that they're going to lose their job. I think another thing that I would tell people is get in on the ground floor of understanding how to use generative AI because it's going to be a requirement of position descriptions. I predict in the next 2 years, you'll start to see almost all content generation positions having some component of understanding how to do prompt engineering, understanding how to use AI in an ethical manner. And so if you're worried about losing your job, one way to help future-proof you is to get more experienced with using generative AI tools.
Moving right along, here's Angie Smith, Head of Experiential Events and Field Marketing at Atlassian, as she shares her vision for reshaping the world of field marketing.
I gotta say, this AI stuff gets me fired up, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a negative way. And I think there's a couple of categories. Number one, content. If we are giving away our content through ChatGPT, we're setting ourselves up for failure. We are marketers. We know who our customers are, what they need, and what our content should say. So leaning into ChatGPT to develop amazing abstracts and content to deliver to our customers, that's our most competitive game right now. We should not be doing, and personally, I can tell when people are using ChatGPT now. It's not going to get you anywhere. From a marketing perspective, I also don't think we should be using and leaning on ChatGPT to write our emails or our website. Again, using our IP and, deeply embedded knowledge of who our customers are and what they care about, that's the power. But I think that there are some areas that around automation or syndication or, snackable bite-sized pieces of the bigger content and marketing strategy that AI can really help us with as marketers. Maybe social media, additional promotion activities, or like influencer marketing. But I guess like all of that to say, I think that AI is going to help us be more efficient and potentially help us with administrative function more in the short term, more so than it's going to replace any strong, competitive, seasoned marketer in our industry.
Thank you to all our wonderful speakers, and thank you for tuning in. Join us next time for another episode of Virtually Live the podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.